We're college students. We all like snacks and easy to prep meals. It streamlines our schedules, which are pretty chock full. Who doesn't want their life to be a bit easier? Who does have the facilities to whip up something gourmet? A bag of chips can tide us over for a while when we're studying or cramming late in the night for an exam. Leaving the midterm, nothing's stopping anyone from grabbing a pack of Skittles on the way home. A little reward for our premium academic performance. The next day, somebody throws a frozen pizza in the microwave while the rest of us watch the football game. 3 minutes, done. We could crank out a meal for 4 in the time it takes for a commercial break. A red Solo of soda, a handful of chips, and 2 slices of pepperoni pizza for everyone just like that. The amount of convenience we have access to stacks to the ceiling, and on top of that, it's tasty. It's this genre of food's selling point. What we aren't made aware of is what goes into these consumables. The words processed foods hold a negative connotation, and they do for a good reason. Unfortunately, these foods are engineered with toxic additives that can have profound effects on us physically and mentally. Most consumer packaged goods companies don't have a lazy afterthought regarding the health and well-being of the buyer. Instead, investing tons of time and resources into the detailed creation of recipes to cut cost and raise profit. These foods are riddled with additives that our bodies can't handle in high amounts. Of the dozens, I'll inform you all of 3, starting with trans fats. Trans fats are a cheap alternative to other fats like butter or high-quality vegetable oils, since they're produced on industrial scales. The process of creation starts with crude vegetable oils and hydrogenation. This means mixing a nickel catalyst with vegetable oil and blasting with hydrogen gas all under high pressure. The structure of the fat changes, which changes its function. Our bodies utilize fat for energy, effectively too, but trans fats don't get metabolized and build up in fat tissues. They raise LDL cholesterol, which deposits in the arteries, and decrease HDL cholesterol, which works to remove LDL from the bloodstream. Even worse, they incorporate themselves into cell membranes, particularly within the heart and brain. Impaired functionality at the cellular level of our 2 most important organs? If you couldn't have guessed, this leads to a sharp decline in quality of life. Studies show growing evidence that the disrupted brain cell membranes are closely related to neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and dementia. Secondly, high fructose corn syrup. I bet we've all noticed this term on the back of nearly every single drink we can buy. Minute Maid, all Pepsi products, root beer, Twisted Tea. This stuff is in everything. It's even in Ritz crackers. High fructose corn syrup is typically a mix of 55% fructose to 45% water and glucose, though it can be upward of 80% fructose. Fructose is derived from corn in this case, since it's cheaper than table sugar, because corn is subsidized by policies and government. Starting off, it's a caloric sweetener, a nutritionless source of empty calories, which isn't good for weight gain. Next, high fructose corn syrup causes huge spikes in insulin, which signals our brain that we're hungry. What do we do with that? Have more pizza and soda. So it's a revolving door sort of an issue. Paired with that, fructose doesn't activate satiety hormones the way glucose does. These hormones tell our brain that we've had enough. Without this check, the balance continues to get further from equal. With spiking insulin and inactivated full hormones, excessive consumption of high fructose corn syrup is very likely. What does excess fructose eventually cause? Insulin resistance, where our body can't properly use the insulin we're releasing. Now, glucose, the actual sugar we need, isn't getting broken down into energy, at least well. This is the point of metabolic failure, the origin of type 2 diabetes. Aside from that multi-layered positive feedback loop of biological confusion, high fructose corn syrup can cause NAFLD, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, which is what the guy from Super Size Me began to get toward the end of that movie. Fructose increases uric acid levels, which is a byproduct of purine breakdowns, a chemical component of fructose. Uric acid can cause gout at older ages, a disease that affects your limbs. And for the horrible cherry on top, excess fructose consumption is now being linked to colorectal cancer. Third, BHA and BHT, 2 synthetic antioxidants commonly used in foods and their packaging to keep products from spoiling. The International Agency for Research on Cancer has classified BHA as possibly carcinogenic for humans. BHT, more commonly used, isn't linked to cancer, but it is a known hormone disruptor. This class of chemicals leads to thyroid dysfunction and developmental issues in children, typically. I forgot to mention infertility. Looking back, it's possible to say that these big producers didn't know of the damaging effects of the preservatives and sweeteners. But now, solid research has been conducted for years. It's public knowledge how detrimental these additives can be, and even when bans and regulations are put into place, corporations find safe limits and impose their own loopholes. On nutritional labels, 0.0 grams of trans fats is what's printed, unless there's more than half a gram per serving, 3 servings per container. You see what's happening. Someone's money is on the line, so these cost-effective additives aren't going anywhere. The only way to avoid them would be to actively avoid them. High fructose corn syrup is in most sodas. Trans fats are found in hydrogenated and partially hydrogenated palm kernel oil. And BHA and BHT can be found in processed meats. A few dietary villains to look out for. In stores, look for the USDA organic seal or non-GMO project verified labels, and obviously, whole unprocessed foods. It might be more expensive, but it's better to lose some cash than to lose some years. Sure, meal prep time may take a while longer, but a lot of people find cooking rewarding, and you wouldn't know if you didn't try.
1 minute.
Wrapping this up, Sodexo prioritizes local, organic, and non-GMO ingredients, so you could also just bump up your meal plan and go to Richie. Thank you.